Today I'm making tres leche, my favorite Mexican dessert. If you'll remember Lizzie, she was working with me, teaching me some of the authentic Mexican recipes, and this is her tres leche. Probably not as good as hers. I wish she was here to help me, but I'm just going to do it the best way I can. I've already whipped my egg whites here. I'm making a simple sponge cake. So I've already whipped up my egg whites, and I've got them sitting here. And now I've creamed the sugar and the egg yolks, and all I have left is the flour and the milk to add. And Lizzie says that you need cake flour, so I couldn't find any in the store, and I had to make my own by adding cornstarch and baking powder, and then sifting it like 10 times or more. The more the better. And so here I'm going to put it together, and I have like I said, I have the sugar and the egg yolks creamed here. So I'm going to add the flour and baking powder. And the milk, whole milk and vanilla I have here. Scrape the bottom here and get it all off. Nice and creamy. There, it's blended real well. So now with a large spoon, I'm going to fold in the egg whites. This is how I do the German chocolate cake also, and it makes it turn out really nice. You just take your spoon and fold it in. You don't want to beat them. Blend all the egg whites in. Now a lot of people think you shouldn't see the egg whites, but I think you should have a slight hint of the egg whites still showing. If you beat them too much, it takes the lightness and the airiness out of the cake batter. Now I've prepared a baking dish here, and I chose this one. I don't know how it'll turn out, but I chose this because I think it'll make a very pretty presentation when the tres leche is finished. It has a scallop around it, and it's deeper. And by the time we get finished, we'll need that deepness. So I'm just going to pour this cake mix in here. And I'm going to put it in the oven and bake it until it's light brown and finished and done all the way through. Smooth it out a little bit, and it's ready to go in the oven. Okay, we've got the cake out of the oven, and I've left it set for about 2 hours to get good and cold. As you may have noticed earlier when I made this recipe, I used several mixing bowls. And I never thought I would need extra mixing bowls, but it sure came in handy when KitchenAid gave me an extra one with my mixer when I ordered it. It was many years ago, but it was nice, and it also has my name on it. But now we have this cake here. And like I told you, Lizzie is the one that's working with me from Mexico on the recipes. And she told me not to just poke this cake, but to torture it. And so I picked a skewer out of my drawer rather than a toothpick. So I'm going to poke this cake all over and torture it like Lizzie says. So when she sees this, it may not be like she does, but anyway, we're going to torture this cake. We want holes all over it. And this is what makes this a special dessert. It's getting, so when we put the 3 milks on it, it gets all through the cake and soaks it. So I would say that's torture enough, so looks like it's pretty punched out all over. Okay, now I've mixed all 3 of the milks. I have the Carnation's condensed milk, and then I have a can of the sweetened condensed milk, and then we have half and half, and I've got 4 cups of it here. And I've also added some rum, and I've added a little bit of sugar that I saved over from Lizzie doesn't do this, but I put a little sugar in it from the recipe in the milk. And also, I don't like the taste of alcohol. So I like the flavor, but I don't like the actual alcohol. So I put a cup of the milk and the alcohol, the rum, on the stove and brought it to a boil. And then I let it cool and mixed it with the rest of it. So now I'm going to saturate this cake very slowly. Pour all this and watch it settle in it. Want to soak it really good. Takes a little while for all of it to soak in. You see why it's necessary to have all those holes in the cake for it to run clear down in it. Okay, we're at the end. We've got it all on the cake and it's all soaked in. So now we're going to take and put whipped cream on it. That's why I wanted this deep dish to bake it in, so we'd have room for the whipped cream to make it look nice. Lizzie says she's used the commercial package whipped cream, like Cool Whip or something like that, but she says she prefers the homemade whipped cream, which I do too. Edges. Okay, now for garnish, I've grated up some walnuts and I put a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of sugar. And we want to just put enough on there to decorate it a little bit. Then I'm going to add a few maraschino cherries to make it look pretty. Got these long stems on, they always make it look nice. Here, now we have a nice presentation here.